Hi, it is iYikkam time again. So I have received a few messages from our friends who asked me to elaborate more on the I4C or inputs for criteria. Let me share with you the reason why I formulate this I4C is that because that is a serious problem in learning Wing Chun. Okay, so we need to know what are we studying, what do we want to do, okay, what do we want to achieve. We need to be really clear on it, otherwise we really don't know what we are doing. You cannot simply learning some sets or believe to have some kind of internal or chi power doing a set, and then thinking that will give you the skill to face fighting. Okay, so we need to get straight into what is fighting about. Okay, so as we know, based on General Qi Ji Guang 1560 and today's and the modern science, modern physics, and the reality of today, like you watch MMA, Thai boxing, Kyokushin, BJJ match, okay, or competition, by watching that, okay, we can conclude really clearly, okay, which is the first criteria of this I4C. That is that we need to know that fighting is exchange of inputs. Inputs mean the change of momentum, as in inputs momentum theorem. Okay, this is physics, law of physics. So fighting is about that, and human in fighting meaning be able to enter into that state, okay, the state of fighting, which is the state of the interchange of inputs. Okay, now we need to know that state exists, and we need to clearly know what it is. There is a serious issue in Chinese martial arts in the past few decades due to this Chinese Hong Kong Kung Fu movie, that one really get misleaded out of this fighting is the exchange of inputs state. Okay, so if one know that fighting is the exchange input state, okay, the one and the opponent exchange the inputs, handling, generation, so forth, and it is high intensity and high speed, then one will not get into the fear of as usually people say, test under pressure. Under pressure, what are you going to do about it? Well, if you know that fighting is the inputs exchanging state, and you train with the generate and handling the inputs, then you know when it is fighting, you're going to enter into the state which is you're familiar with, you train, you develop with, and you handle it. Now, you get into fear and thinking there's a pressure is because when we don't train that, we just keeping train, like for example, the Fo, Tan, Bong, and thinking that is the entire of the Wing Chun. Well, then you get a problem, because the Tan Bong Fu doesn't tell you the Wing Chun inputs handling and inputs exchange state. It doesn't tell you that. It just tells you a technique called Tan Bong Fu. That's all. Same with Tan Da, Lap Da, all this stuff. Okay, those are techniques. How is this techniques related to the state of exchanging of inputs of two persons, which is very dynamic and very high speed and this the high intensity. So start at the beginning. If we want to study self-defense and fighting, then we have to know that fighting is the state of exchange of inputs, and one need to train, be able to get into that state and deal with it within that state, deal with the opponent's inputs within that state. Okay, so this is the first criteria of I4C. Okay, because it is a disaster if we never know this and we keeping doing the tan, the bong, the fo, the tan da, the lap da, thinking that these techniques will handle the inputs exchange in high intensity and high speed. We are actually lost the focus. We actually mislead ourselves out. We are actually not practicing, preparing, or developing the skill to handle the inputs. So this is the first key. You need to understand that. You need to know what is going on. Otherwise, we cannot train it, because we simply cannot deal with things which we don't know. We don't have any idea, or we guess, oh, if I do tan 1,000 times, tan da 1,000 times, then in fighting I can use it. While we have no idea that fighting is a dynamic exchange of inputs in high density and high speed. And your tan da, lap da, and all this thing is obviously techniques. So how is that related, right? So this is number one. We need to clear this up. Otherwise, we mislead everybody. Now, go to number two, the key number two, or the second criteria of the I4C. If one want to play the game in the inputs exchange, high density and high speed, this body, the biomechanic, has to be conditioned and developed, and one be able to use the body. Okay. So all the muscle, the major muscle need to be able to activate. So like in the H3C, I present that you need to have the squat type of training. You need to have this oblique type of training. So you're fully your biomechanics of your body, you can manipulate it, you can handle it, and you know what is proper and what is improper. Okay. Now, of course, one need to know when in dynamic one's center of gravity will be changing. This is the second key in the H3C. And the third is be able to generate the inputs as fast as possible using these mechanics. So this is the H3C. Okay. So in terms of the second key of the I4C, one need to have this basic in order to play the game of, as what has presented the first key. It is a game within the realm or the state of exchanging inputs in high speed and high density. Okay. Now, but that's not all. You get to the third key of the I4C. We human, when we move our body, that is the case of do our movement support our breathing system or counter it. Okay. So if the action, the mechanics is counter the breathing, for example, the movement of the diaphragm, everything, then one cannot move properly. Okay. So when we feel helpless, okay, in fighting, like one punch and then we feel that we don't have enough energy anymore, we don't have energy, helpless, you know, it's just like, you know, people so so aggressive, you know, injecting their impulse into us, and we just cannot, you know, the hand is just, you just don't have the force, everything. Mostly that will be, the breathing is a problem. Okay, you got problem in the breathing, and this is where the Qigong come in, the breathing, and then the meridians development. That is actually for this third key. Okay, so if the biomechanics or generate and handling the impulse is actually coordinate, and it is actually works together properly with the breathing, one will be able to strike, attack, 4 or 5 attack. One don't even have to train much. Okay, as soon as that is you can get the lower abs breathing, and then the mechanics and the breathing is actually accord to each other. You can expect that. You don't even have to train much. Of course, you want to be good at it, you have to train it, right? Everything you need to train. But there is a heaven and earth different. Knowing that the biomechanics, the input generations is actually accord or not accord with the breathing. That is the Qigong part and the Qi meridian parts, if we want to talk about insulin part. Okay, so we know this. Okay, so the first key, the reason why we get scared of sparring is because we do not know that that is a state of exchange of impulse. We never train to play that, and suddenly when people say, well, no, get into this sparring or fighting, then right away we have no idea what to do, because everything is try and error. And how can you try and error in high speed? Well, the other party is trained in impulse exchanging. That's why you have all this fear, the test under pressure, those kind of things, you pressure. But if you train that, what pressure? What pressure? Pressure meaning that you don't know what is going on there, what you are facing. If you're facing a tiger, you get pressure. Why? Because you don't know how to deal with it. But if you train hunter, you know this is a tiger. You know, I have to be this far away to face this tiger. You know, I have my gun, my arrow, or you know that if this is this far, I need to run, I need to flee, I need to stay in my car. Then there's no pressure. You just need to deal with it from your training. So that's the first key. The second key of I4C is that you need to really train this body, so that you be able to generate and handle the impulse. Otherwise, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to learn a few techniques, get a guy in front of you, you know, see most video is doing the demo, like if the student punch the teacher, then you have the tan da lap da, and then you can do a whole bunch of stuff. Well, really, in the real life, is like that. You go watch MMA, or Kyokushin, or street fighting, is it like that? It's not like that, right? Those real stuff is in the play, in the impulse momentum, or impulse state, or domain, or realm, okay? Then, you say, well, I don't have stamina. Well, if we start with the third key, that we have no idea whether our movement is counter or aiding the breathing or accord with the breathing, then off bet off. You know you're going to do that, you cannot handle it, because it is like you cut off your gasoline in the gas in your car, how can the car run? Okay. So that is the third key, or the third criteria. The fourth is at this exchange of inputs, you know it's going to go forward, backward, side to side, up or down. One is start is going to vary within this up, forward, backward, side to side, up and down, all the different type of combinations, and it's not going to stop until somebody is KO or somebody is takedown, and then continue from the takedown and so forth, so forth. Okay, so it is not a single movement. It is a continuous, a series of inputs handling or inputs generations, a sequence of it. And that sequence, a certain part of it, people train in it, and a certain part of it actually is accord to or adaptive to the situation one face, and it never be repeating. Okay. So the fourth key is one be able to, like, you crush in, you know, in the first instant, the first inputs handling is you crushing in, and many times often that it involve in exchanging a blow. Okay, expect that it's going to exchanging a blow. Nobody say, well, you punch me, I tan da, and no problem. No. You get him, you get him, he might get you too. And then it get into this, it might turn into a left to right, or forward, backward, or up and down type of inputs handling, because it's like two cars, when it's slammed together, it's going, sometimes it might be spinning. And then at the spinning, that is still your inputs. You need to handle that. And then it might, you know, like the car analogy, you crush it, and then it might spin, and then it might spin 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, maybe 5 times, and slide before the entire thing stops. That's what fighting is. Okay? So, if we don't train with this key, we do not clearly identify what it is and train with it, forget about it. What train with it doesn't mean that you're the best in fighting. No, you don't, but at least you know what is going on. And sometimes we have to run. If it's a tiger, I mean, we run, because how can you actually handle the impulse of a tiger hopping at you? You can't. The car running into you, you got to run, right? So that's why this I4C is critical. That's why the H3C is critical, because this is go right away into the heart. And so, say when we're training the 3 sets, or the iYikkam, I don't want to call it iYikkam anymore, it's just 1840 or 1850s shooting star sets. If this is not trained within it, what are we doing? Practicing dancing? Practically, we can define today whatever movement which is do not handling the inputs, which is feeding into this I4C, it is called dance. It's not going to help you in the fighting, and in fact it is going to create bad habit, or actually pulling the reverse gear in the real fighting. So for example, the iYikkam, you climb the knee and so forth, your biomechanics is in compromise, your breathing in compromise, so your second and the third key you gone. Like in the Chamkyu set, if you put your leg, the weight always behind, and you lean backward like that, you know the second, third, fourth key is over. You cannot, sure, we can argue that in sometimes, you know, you need to put your weight at the back leg. That's fine, okay. However, people know why they're doing that. Instead of just blindly follow something. Oh yeah, this one. If one know this I4C and know the H3C, one know does this make sense or not. If this not making sense, I'm not going to practice that. Okay. So this is this serious. And all the set has to be do that. The chi sao the same, the wooden dummy have to say. Otherwise, what are we contribute to handling the exchange of input state? What do we contribute to that? We don't. We just believe in something like a religion. Okay? So we must not go in that path, because that path is trouble. That path is a living in other world. It's not living in the world where MMA, BJJ, Kyokushin, Thai boxing, Western boxing is in. It's living in a world where have no idea what is in this world, and taking chance or try and error, thinking if they do long enough in this world they can master whatever or be the best fighter in this world. What have it ever happened? No, because this thing in this world don't even satisfy the science, the basic science in this world, the MMA world. So if you say Chinese martial art, like the other day I watched a few video, like people critique that Chinese martial art is just traditional Chinese martial art. It's just only can do for beating little girls or defeating people who have no idea what it is. Well, we need to be able to face reality. When other people say the truth, we need to accept that. If we have no idea in this I4C, what they talk about is true. You're not scientific, you don't know. Scientific means you know the cause and effect, how to handle this thing, right? And so the reason for the 6 core element and the Wing Chun mechanics, which is in my video channels and the YKT and all these things in these video channels. If you're patient, you can check into it. The fit bowl handling, the 7 bowl, and all these things. If you don't have patience, just go to Amazon to get my 2 books, the basic ancient Wing Chun art and science, and the beginning Wing Chun, which is for the mechanics and so forth, so you don't have to do all this video search and so forth. Those are the fundamental. So if one have the 613.3 developed, okay, which is in the books of the beginning, in the basic ancient Wing Chun science and art, the 613.3 is inside there. If one develop that, when one know this I4C and H3C, one know exactly, okay, how to analyze, how to watch one or observe one, one's training and so forth. Those are tools. 613.3 is tools. And if one know the mechanics as in the beginning Wing Chun book, then one know, the handle of mechanics is this way, the breathing this way, the body this way. Okay, we need to use torque instead of linear and so forth. So this is a science, which is I'm set it up, is the basic of the educations of WCWest. We need to get this into professional, like in the university. I always say that, so people can study about it and learn about it, like an engineering, professional. If you are good in law or engineering or medical science, you don't have to be the top one, but at least you're not going out of the world. Okay, you know what is that. And for me is that we don't want to put the standard of we want to be the best fighter, whole bunch of stuff. We want to put us into the level of we want to know what is the basic minimum of the science, so that we can learn how to fight, we can learn how to help this body to be more healthy. Well, that's the bottom line of the Chinese martial art: self-defense and strengthen the body. So without this, what are we doing? Okay. And as I mentioned on the other video on this this I4C, is that if we know, we talk about the Wing Chun history, we need to know the technology of the Wing Chun and the science which is supporting the technology together, because the answer, what is it? What is Wing Chun? How is the technology of the Wing Chun? The third is, why is it working? Then you know why it's working, why it's not working. Okay, now, so the entire thing, it has to be this complete. Okay, so for me, complete Wing Chun is not like you can learn every set. Complete Wing Chun means that you need to know the basic. Okay, you need to know the what, why, and how. Okay, and with all this I4C, H3C, and then the 613.3 and the mechanics, at least if you study that, you say, oh, I know what is Wing Chun. This is Wing Chun mechanic. This is a Wing Chun way of the short strike way of handling the impulse. Oh, this is the 4 momentum zone. This is the long fist way. Then you can actually play with it. You can solve problems. Otherwise, it's just keeping doing tan da, lap da, doing practice sets and everything, have no idea what it is, and completely living in the world external, outside the world of the impulse exchange. And you try years over years, decades over decades, lifetime over lifetime, hoping, actually it's not, it's wishing that someday when you get into the world of impulse, which you have no idea what is this, but thinking, oh, if I train this way, then some days when I get into fighting, no, I can be good at it. How can you do that? It's not scientific at all. Even Buddha doesn't teach that. Buddha teaches cause and effect. Okay. So this is to share with you, and I hope every Wing Chuners have this type of level. So Wing Chun, we're going to go into university, make this a science, okay, art and the science of the traditional Chinese martial technology or martial arts or martial science. That way, you know, put it this way, as what I told everybody, don't put into this modak. Okay, many people talk to me about modak, martial virtue. Okay, traditional Chinese martial, but do we practice that? You see around, I look around, as what I said that I tell you guys before. People don't do that. People just talk about it. So right now, just get into the really rock solid stand on the ground. Let's practice that. We want Wing Chun to be a good product. We sell good product. We can have a good high compensation. There's no problem. We sell honest good product. Okay, like you want to have a very good smartphone. You pay for it, but you get a very good smartphone. Okay, instead of if you go the modak and all this way, well, you have to bow to your teacher. You have to talk all this modak, but then you don't have a good product, and we don't practice what we preach. Nice to other people, we don't. It's always like you must not say anything about my art or my lineage, or let's go fight. Does it solve any problem? No. It's just about competing who is more fighting experience or so forth. It got to does it got to do with the science of this impulse handling? No. So it doesn't solve the issue. Can it go to MMA match? No. So what are we talking about? And then when you talk about MMA, you say, oh, you know, those MMA people are this professional. Professional what? They already tell you. Traditional Chinese martial art, you guys are not scientific. And then when you got when we talk about it, this is not I say, okay, this quote, like for example the MMA player in Taiwan, he said this: you guys MMA, sorry, you guys the traditional Chinese martial art guys, you are not scientific. MMA training is scientific. And then whenever there is technical issue, you always say about Mo Tak, the martial virtue. Okay. Well, technical speaking, we want to see the traditional martial art to be scientific, and is that talk about martial virtue and this be nice to other people. Is that good? Good. That is very good, right? I agree 100%. Everybody have to have Mo Tak, consider of other people, care for other people, must not bully other people. I agree 100%. But the behavior of just because somebody raised some question, you say, oh, let's fight. See who have a better Wing Chun, or who have the better martial art. That doesn't make any sense at all for what one preaching. One should be able to sit down and say, okay, show me please, you know, what is this technical issue, and let's solve it together. Like this behind me, that there's the strips in the Las Vegas, right? Skyscraper, towers there, many hotel, entertainment center, and everything. It can be positive. You don't have to be, hey, fight me. What do you prove? And then have no idea how this skyscraper building is built. Okay. So this is to share with you. So my bottom line is that it's time that we want to make Wing Chun into professional. We want to be a better person, okay? Because we all can improve. And stop talking about, let's go fighting. Can you pass under the pressure test? Let's really carefully bring out the science, discuss with the science, and that way it's more constructive and positive, and everybody progress, getting better and better. So always is my hope that all lineage of Wing Chun get better and better. In the past, the grandmaster in the past, of course, they hope we surpass them. It's like every father will say, oh, you want the kids going to college, okay, better than the father. We're not going to insult our father because they make some mistake. We don't. And we need to proceed. We need to thank them for the good thing they do. They help us. And we need to proceed for better thing, to make things better. Okay? So that's why I don't want to be Wing Chun teacher, Wing Chun Sifu, like when I was in Asia, I said I'm not a Sifu. I'm just interested in researching Wing Chun technology. That's the bottom line. And whatever I got, I share with everybody. Okay? So this is for you today. Hopefully that this I4C is clear, explained here. And the reason I call it I4C purposely is you can foresee what is the outcome if we don't know what is the I4C.